Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on Global Columbus. My name is Guadalupe Velasquez, and I'll be your host for tonight's show. And tonight we'll be talking with a local business and organization. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, actually, the challenges the kids are facing, a lot of challenges, like, about drugs, peer pressure. So if the youth don't have programs, that can, stay from, away from drugs, like different programs, but a lot of things what community needs is like get these kids from. There's a lot of kids that are now in jail, juvenile, or prison, that they don't even know, what jail means. They don't even know. They don't get the help from, it's either their parents, the community. So the community face a lot of challenge, but nobody is there for them. So that's why, Ahmed actually, when we was doing the Invisible Hero about 6 months ago, and actually I was doing behind the doors, nobody was knew about me. The community knows about me about sports, helping about the kids, but he's a guy that there for the community, helping the community, and he's the guy here for us, thanks to Ahmed,
Their face being in the community is big help, is more than we can even imagine. If he can go tomorrow when he's doing small fundraising for the tournament, they can recognize. They can definitely say, okay, well, I've seen you somewhere, on the website and this. I heard about you. And local businesses are really generous, but if they know the person they're giving the money, if they trust, if they know what he's doing, I think his program can attract big time small donations from the community.
And to elaborate, the pressure the challenges that the teens or youth are trying to overcome is lack of support, lack of parental support. Because we came from an environment where we have to earn bread before education. And that's the high expectation our parents have. Many of the youth don't have their biological dad and mom in this country, so they have to earn money to send them back home. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of things. He can probably tell you more if he sits with those guys and tells them, you guys need to go to school so you can better educate yourself and be and pretty much be an asset to yourself and to the community. Their answer probably is going to be, my mom and dad and my siblings are waiting for me. I don't have time to study book. I don't have time for this. Thank you for your support, but I'm moving on with the chasing that dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
The kids and the parents are missing the connection. The kids are going to school or are going to outside to play, but the parents don't even know what the kids are doing. So the parents and the kids between friends out there. So those friends, it could be bad, it could be good. But when you talk to these guys, this little, the youth, actually they're ready to do something. They're willing to do something, but they need the help from the community, from the people, from the parents, from everybody.
They're doing helps in a sense, or to some degree. And it's only to those who like sports, who really want to associate with other youth. Those can be really drawn into their activities or what Fahad and others are doing. But there are many others that definitely are not attracted into either basketball or soccer. So what are we doing with them? Mm-hmm. How are we reaching out them? And I have seen, last spring cup, I've seen many come out to watch. So even if the activities are there, if they don't play, they will come out with friends and all that. So I big time believe that the basic making this Somali youth in Central Ohio or other minority youth is in Central Ohio. Everybody needs Central Ohio needs to know who to connect with. Mm-hmm. There are Latino kids that love to play soccer. Mm-hmm. There are Bhutanese kids that love to play soccer. Who do they go when they play? They come to this group because they're already established. They have some sort of tournaments going on all the time. So you can see a lot of mixed players already into their team. So it's amazing, and I really feel all the time this is worth encouraging, this is worth pushing, forward. Yeah.
And I know that you mentioned with the Invisible Heroes that this year you are focusing on Somali youth, but then in the years to come you're going to reach out to other African youth as well and feature other Invisible Heroes.
this is pretty much the first episode, and then the first part, and then the next part is going to be, we're going out of the Somali box a little bit, trying to see, okay, how are the communities doing? What are the similarities between the two? Creating the same model and taking, especially to Iraqis. They are new to Central Ohio. They are coming big number, and they're out there. What are they doing? What is the pressure? Is it different than here? What can they benefit from this program? How can they relate their problems to their challenges to these other youth? And well, other communities were there before the Somalis get. The Latino big number is there. So what is the similarities between Somalis and those other communities? So it's something that I'm looking into. The new 2012 is the second episode. So I'm trying to focus on other communities and how they're doing and what are the similarities, and actually try to build one more out.
The invisible hero, Ahmed, you can go to to Central Ohio. And now, I'm getting a lot of phone calls that, a lot of African players that we're hosting in August, African Basketball League, the whole African teams. And then we can go there to international. So right now we're we're just in a box that says Somalia. Now we're going to Africa, and then we're going to international. So now we're after 2 months later, we're hosting African Basketball League. It's about, over 12, 13 teams, African teams. So a lot of teams are going to be in there. So.
And the good thing is to start with the Somalis is an advantage, because you can isolate this case and deal with this first and see how it works, and then think of the other one. When you already know, you're sure to come, how the program was successful, and after evaluation, you can definitely go outside other communities. But this is a special case, and I think it's worth consideration, and it definitely depends how it works for the Somali community.
And even, I'm sorry. Okay. And even though, it's, to go out of the box is really wonderful. But while we're still doing this, we might have others looking at us, wow, they're doing this, why are we sitting down? And then start their own, hard-working productivity into the community, and then we all come together and we all have wonderful ideas.
About the Somali Basketball League, actually it was 10 teams, and actually I hosted the first Somali League basketball this year, and it lasted 3 months, and it was 10 teams. And everybody was just appreciating, we never had actually basketball league. We did have, Somali soccer league, but we never had a basketball league. Because when you look at it, the kids, and how I started the basketball league, it was, there's some soccer players that play basketball. And when they're in the field, they're not happy, but it's a pressure because there's other fun to do in the city. There's nothing to do in the city. So I was like, I called them, together, and I asked them about, you guys want to do the basketball. They were happy. It's in 2 weeks, 120 players came out from nowhere, the city.
Wow.
From 11 to 18.
Yeah.
So that's why right now we know about the Somali kids, about the basketball league, and now we're trying to go to challenge, the other teams, the other African teams. So, and right now what we're doing is send the top teams, basketball teams, Minneapolis.
Oh, wonderful.
To play over there June 22nd.
Oh, so you have the date already?
Yeah.
Will it be like a tournament or championship?
Yeah, it'll be a tournament. It lasts about a week, and it's the same thing about the soccer too.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So.
Now, before we wrap up, I do want to find out some other things about you, and that is, so who are your heroes, Ahmed?
8 of them. Well, most of them, the selection was based on nomination.
I mean, you're
one of the people that I definitely admire from the perspective of my community is Raga Omar. He's a Al Jazeera anchor, former BBC anchor. So I like the guy. He is open-minded. He did some amazing programs. There's no program that he produced that I did not watch. So he is been doing some fantastic job. He was a BBC reporter from Iraq when the Iraqi war started. Later joined Al Jazeera, and I couldn't have a chance to meet him. I love to meet him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ismahan.
My personal heroes would be my 3 lovely angels, my children.
Oh.
They have shaped me to the point I am right now, and they got me from where I want to be, where I want to go, and where I will be in the future. So I would say definitely Samira, Muhammad, and Amina.
Oh.
Yeah.
My hero is my mother, and she is actually a wonderful mother. And she's the reason that's why I'm here today. Is, you know, from middle school to high school, it was tough, and she was there for me about a lot of things. You know, it's like, you know, peer pressure. You know, a lot of kids, you know, coming, you know, friends, you know, coming, you know, home. You know, they're like, you know, she's like, that's a bad friend. You know, that's a good friend. You know, I say my mother, she's a good hero for, you know, for me.
That's wonderful. And then another question I have for you is, what do you like most about Columbus?
I like Columbus, the diversity. I like the diversity in the food. I like the big institutions, big educational institutions in Central Ohio. I like the people. There is a whole lot of list why I choose to come and live in Columbus. Yeah.
I love Columbus because it keeps me busy, keeps me productive, and for someone like me who has so much energy, I cannot be indoor. I have to be out there doing something.
So there's a lot to do here.
There's a lot to do.
What are your favorite things to do?
Be in the office with them, working on paper, writing. Yeah, and then because when I'm at work, I feel like I'm only working for myself. But when I'm with him, I feel like I'm working for a group. And that I feel more satisfied doing that than making my own paycheck. So, yeah.
I love Columbus because I grew up this city. I went from elementary school to middle school to high school. There's nothing to hate about Columbus. Columbus is the city that everybody loves, you know. It's like diversity, you know. It's with a lot of different cultures, you know. Let's say a lot of different Asians, you know, Africans, you know, Europeans, different things, you know. So Columbus is a place to be.
And the funny thing is, we went to school together, and life has thrown us separate and then brought us together because of the same passion that we have.
Yeah.
And right now we're
That's
next
wonderful.
to each other.
Like attracts like.
Yes.
Birds of a feather.
Exactly.
And if someone wanted to read the Friday Bulletin or find out more about your organization, what is the website?
Friday Bulletin website is fridaybulletin.com. It's fridaybulletin.com, and the paper circulates every other week, especially the northeast side of the town. And the organization is Somali Media and Cultural Organization, the umbrella organization with all these activities. Somali Media Cultural Organization's website is sommco.org. And somaliculture.org also leads to that website.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so any life lessons that you want to share as we as our final conversation here?
Life lessons is no matter how hard things may get, there's always going to be light at the end of the road. You just keep because you just keep pushing yourself, and never give up, because God doesn't give up on you. Why would you give up on yourself?
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life lessons like believe in who you are. You know, have a future. Have something that, you know, good friends. You know, have some people that's there for you. It's, you know, life is a challenge, but at the same time, it's just, you know, be who you are.
Ahmed?
Well, a lot of life lessons. I definitely learned a lot from my community. You know, the changes that they're going through. You know, adapting is one thing. You know, how they adapt here, how they adapt everywhere in the world. I'm very adaptive, and I love the way they do.
Well, thank you all for being on the show tonight. Hopefully you'll come back, and we thank you for watching the first segment of Global Columbus, and we'll be back